The scenes coming out of Myanmar right now are absolutely heartbreaking. Entire buildings have crumbled, roads torn apart, and people are desperately searching for their loved ones. This is the aftermath of one of the most powerful earthquakes to hit Southeast Asia in years. And the worst part, the true scale of the disaster is still unfolding. But before we get into the full breakdown of this catastrophe, if you appreciate real-time updates on global happenings, politics, events, hit that subscribe button and turn on notification. We bring you the stories that matter, the one that the world needs to see. Now, let's get into it. At approximately 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck central Myanmar. The shaking was so intense that it was felt as far away as Thailand and even China. Buildings swayed, roads buckled, and in just minutes, thousands of lives were turned upside down. For the quake to be strong enough to cause destruction at that distance is almost unheard of. Eyewitness accounts describe scenes of absolute chaos. Tourists and locals alike ran for their lives as the ground beneath them violently shook. Some were trapped on the rooftop as waters from rooftop pools spilled over the edges, flooding the streets below. And in a terrifying twist, that cascading water swept away people trying to escape. Emergency services are stretched thin, and with electricity and communication lines down in many areas, coordinating rescue effort has been incredibly difficult. The Red Cross has already warned that the situation is dire and aid workers are struggling to reach those who are in need. In Myanmar itself, entire villages have been flattened. Buildings that stood for decades are now nothing more than piles of rubble. Families are digging through debris with their bare hands, hoping to find their loved ones. Reports are emerging of people still trapped beneath collapsed structures, their cries for help echoing through the rains that has been caused by the earthquakes. Residents describe hearing muffled voices beneath the debris, some calling out for water, others simply pleading to be saved. In some areas, rescue teams are making progress, pulling out survivors from the wreckage, while in others, the destruction is so extensive that teams can only mark locations for later excavations. And this is not just Myanmar that's suffering. Over in Bangkok, Thailand, a construction site where nearly 320 workers were present at the time of the quake has turned into a disaster zone. At least 70 workers are missing right now, and around 20 are believed to be trapped in the lift shaft. Rescue operations are underway, but time is absolutely running out. Myanmar, a country already in crisis, now faces an even darker road ahead. Since the military coup in 2021, Myanmar has been ruled by a junta that tightly controls the flow of information. This makes getting an accurate picture of the full extent of the disaster nearly impossible. The government has restricted media accesses, blocked independent reporting, and even cut off internet access in some areas. But here's what we do know right now. Before this earthquake, Myanmar was already struggling with one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. 3.5 million people were displaced and over 20 million people were in desperate need of humanitarian aid. That was before the ground shook. Now, with thousands more homeless and infrastructures in ruins, the situation has gone from bad to catastrophe. The international community has responded with concern, but tangible action has been slow. Countries like the United States, Japan, and Australia have pledged aid, but logistical challenges still remains. The damage to major highways and airports has made it difficult for relief teams to access the worst hit areas. Helicopters have been deployed to remote villages, but these efforts are barely scratching the surface of the overwhelming need. Despite the challenges, Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to provide assistance. The Red Cross, the UNICEF, and other NGOs are mobilizing resources, but they still need help. If you're watching this and you're wondering what you can do, consider donating to a reputable aid organization, whether in Myanmar or across the world. Even a small contribution can make a difference in getting food, water, or medical supplies to those in need. And let's not forget the long-term impact. Beyond the immediate need for rescue and relief, Myanmar needs years, maybe even decades, to rebuild. Schools, hospitals, and homes have been destroyed. Thousands of people have been left with nothing but with clothes on their backs. This isn't just a short-term crisis, it's a disaster that will reshape Myanmar's future. This is a moment where the world needs to step up, and the people affected by this disaster cannot be ignored. We will continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as more information comes in. If you found this coverage valuable, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and even share this video with your friends so that they can be aware of what is happening. We need to keep the conversation going and make sure the victims of these disasters are not forgotten. What are your thoughts on this tragedy? And let's talk about how the international community should respond. Do you think enough is being done? Let me know in the comment section. Stay tuned for more updates and always stay safe, be informed, and I'll see you in the next video.